I love all the men and women who are stepping up to parent children that they did not give birth to. I think that is noble.
Let's have an out loud conversation about how to approach your blended family. Now, fellas, you're going to get a lot out of this because my wife did touch on a few different things that I think are important. Ladies, this might help you as well because she also gives some tips and some word of advice on best ways to approach. So there are some critical things that my wife happened to bring up that I thought might be helpful to you as you may approach your blended family.
Here's the deal. My husband really struggled with how to show the boys that he was really there. Do I bring them gifts? What do I do to show them that I'm here and I'm not leaving? Because that was hard for my kids. They didn't want to be attached at all because, what if something happens and he leaves? What I told him is to focus on being present.
So in all honesty, it has not been the easiest thing as a guy to figure out. As you heard my wife mention, I came into our blended family with two boys already bustling and growing. So I can kind of remember in the very beginning, I had no idea what the heck to do. Like, honestly, I didn't know where to be, how to be. I didn't understand any of that stuff. And honestly, the battle was really internal. It was about, I want to be there, but at the same time, I've got my own personal needs and selfish ways as well. And I couldn't figure out how to get all of that done at once. Well, here's my wife kind of giving you an idea of something that I decided to try that happened to work out really well for us.
My husband was not the first person that I dated while I was a single mom, but he was really someone who was intently focused on adding value to my life and my kids' lives, and very intentional about taking things off my plate and not adding things on.
Yes, add value. I literally walked into, as she said, a tornado. I mean, there was so much going on every single hour of the day, and I kind of got lost in the shuffle. And as opposed to coming up with some dismissive reason that I didn't want to partake, I just looked at the situation and said, okay, where can I start to maybe add some value somewhere? And she's right. I literally started thinking about, okay, if the kids got to be at football practice today at 3:00, I tell you what, I'll take the kids to football practice. You can go do something else. The kids got to get ready for bed. All right, cool. I'll take care of that. You go take care of something else. Hey, we got, paperwork needs to be signed for the kids and get them to school in the morning. I'll take care of that. There was no way she and I were going to have any version and any opportunity of a relationship if we didn't create some margin and some time with all that she had going on. So it was my job to really step in, at least that's the way I feel, to step in and say, all right, how do I build in some time? How do I make inroads so that she can actually not have to keep running as hard as she has to as a single mother, and at the same time, to her credit, be open to her heart. And I'm gonna tell you right now, fellas, that could take some time. So, some of the selfish ways we kind of approach relationships, not gonna really work in a blended family. You find out very quickly, just as quickly as you are here, you could be dismissed. And so I only bring that up because I think it's important that for guys, especially if you're going to step into a blended family, you really want to make sure that you are intentional about the time you invest in the relationship by investing time and taking things off her plate. That's just what worked for me, and I thought I'd share it. Now, ladies, I realize that every heart deserves love. There might be a gentleman out there who might be interested in you, and you're wondering, do I incorporate him? Do I bring him in? What do I do? Well, here's some advice from my wife on some ways you can approach it.
So this is what I'll say. If you are a single mom and you're struggling to figure out, can this guy exist in the household or in the family unit that I have created for myself and my kids? Be open and honest with him first. Let him know how crazy busy you are and how chaotic things are. And the fact that you really don't have more time to give, especially if that's your truth. You don't have more time to give. But if he can contribute and take some things off your plate, that will free you up to have more time for him. And when you guys start to spend that time together, or he's taking some things off your plate, it gives your heart time to be open so that you can find ways to fit him in and to incorporate him into your lifestyle.
Now, fellas, if you're actually thinking about stepping up and stepping into her life, remember her kids are first. For a while, they're going to be first. It's important that you do some key things early and often throughout the relationship. Here's my wife to tell you more.
Something that was really cool about my husband is that he really focused on where could he add the most value, where could he impact our unit the most. And it was really taking some of the responsibilities off my plate, like getting them to and from lacrosse practice or soccer practice or football practice. It was, making sure that we got to games, and if he could get them organized, then I could prepare, sandwiches and snacks and that sort of thing. It was him taking them to the movies so that I could have some time at home alone, just to take a bath and sit in the tub without somebody calling me. And I'm telling you, it went a long way for me to say, okay, maybe I can make room for this human into our house, into our household and into our family.
Now, as a guy trying to parent in this blended family, as the one who came in, has been challenging because one, I don't have biological children of my own, but there's a couple of things that I decided to do that has made my journey, I guess, what it is. Number one, for me, I live by a code that family and loyalty is everything. So we never use the word step in this house or outside of the house.
I love that my husband has done that for our sons, and that there's no step anything here. He says they are his sons and they respect him as a dad, even though they have a biological father.
My kids are my kids, period. This eliminates a lot of the back and forth, the weird nuanced moments, the I don't know. You don't have to worry about that. If you just choose as the guy to step up and say, hey, you know what? These are my kids. I'm not using the word step in or outside of their presence. Then it allows just for you to truly eventually win and gain their trust and their heart so that you can grow as a blended family. Secondly, if you grew up without a father like I did, you're going to be learning on the job. That means there is no right way to do everything, and you're going to fail a lot of days, and a lot of times you're not going to know exactly what to do in the situation. These are the best moments that I lean on my wife. Yeah, I don't have all the answers, and so I don't try to. One of the great things is not only being able to lean on my wife, but I also have some OGs in my life who's raised plenty of kids as guys. And so sometimes it's a text or a phone call or a quick lunch opportunity to be able to sit down and learn how to navigate certain situations. Number three, the way you grew up is not what your child's reality is today. What this means is that they are having a very different growing up experience than the way you did. You have to be mindful of that as you parent them. They're having different challenges, different things are going on in their little version of society, in their world of friendships and relationships. It's just a different time. So we cannot use 1980s thinking to solve 2021 problems. We've got to be open and kind of in our own way mature up to the moment, but also learn that navigating these problems and challenges that they're facing is probably going to come with some collaboration. That's okay to do though. And finally, the last tip about making your blended family work I would give you, one of the most important critical things that I did in stepping into our family was build a relationship with their biological father. Now, what I am not saying is that you and him are going to agree on everything. What I am saying is it's really important that you show to the children We are doing this co-parenting thing together, and we are all about the support and growth of who you are as little kids. So me and their biological father check in on a consistent basis, and the three of us are constantly having conversations about what things need to be done, how do we work through situations and nuances that we find ourselves in. But I chose to come in and respect both sides so that there's no tension, and I really kind of try to be the glue in between communication, difficult challenges, anything that comes up. I want to make sure that the kids see me as somebody who's bridging the gap as opposed to somebody who's pulling it further apart. And trust me, for me, this has gone a long way in building the relationship with my wife. Recently, she sent a text to both of us, and it was just a very powerful text. And I thought, and did get permission to be able to share it with you. In the text, she said, "The three of us, you, me, and Chris, are the same in that none of us had a father figure in our lives growing up. That's why I'm so grateful that the two of you are cordial enough to work together to ensure our sons know they are loved by both of their fathers, the one that gave them life and the one who supports the way they live." I want to say thank you to my wife for sending us both that text. It is obviously very uplifting. And for guys trying to figure it out, I'm curious to know what challenges or things that you found that have worked best for you in your blended family. Put them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video to be helpful to you, feel free to give us a like, share, or subscribe. Or as I said, leave us a comment below and we'll make sure that we get back to you as soon as possible. Well, that's it. This has been The World According to Chris. Everything for the grown man in you. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next video.